All right, hi everybody. So if you're watching this, then what I'm hoping is that you started off by working through part one in the Scratch coding folder, where we talked about how to make a very simple but fun racing game. And so this is the first video and what will be part two. If you didn't do part one, I would really recommend you go back and do that and complete it. Because in part two, part one, I take a little time to go through explanations and talk through things. Um, so in part two, we're going to make a different game. There are things that I may do that I'm not really going to explain because I already did that in part one, and so if you may get lost. So make sure you work through these in order. Okay. Now, what we're going to do in part two is we're going to make a different game. So I've logged into Scratch, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Create. Now, when we made the racing game, we just kind of made it up as we went along, and that's not a good way to code. What you really want to do is you want to come up with your plan in the beginning, and then you work towards that plan. And what'll happen is you'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to make a game where you can do this," and then as you start coding, you might realize later on, like, "Oh, well, I don't know how to do that, or I can't get this to work, or Scratch won't do what I want it to do," and you'll have to adjust your plan, and that's okay. But just being like, I don't know, I'll make a game where I guess you like drive. It's not a good strategy because you're going to end up not really knowing what you're trying to accomplish and you're going to get lost along the way. And so let's take the time to think through what our objective is for this game. So, what I would really like is when we are finished, and we'll see how we do, I would love to have a game where we have maybe not the Scratch Cat, but we have something that appears on the screen. And what I would really like is for the thing, like a monster or something like that, we'll see what we can come up with. Whatever it is, it pops up in random places on the screen. And what we want the user to do is we want the user to have to click on the thing. And we can maybe make it to where you like shoot something at the monster that pops up on the screen, and the monster basically gets blown up or whatever. And I think in order to make the game kind of frantic, I would really like to have a timer. So I'd like to have the game where it's like once the game starts, the clock counts down, and maybe every time you hit the monster, we add a little bit of time. But if you don't hit the monster, or even worse, if you click and you miss the monster, you lose time. And when you run out of time, the game's over. And we'll have a score. Maybe we'll have a score up here so that way the user can see like what their high score is or whatever. Um, that's the basic gist. And then along the way, if we find things that don't work or we're like, oh, we could add this, we'll do that too. All right. So that's the basic plan. Now let's see if we can actually make all that happen. So first things first, we're going to take our Scratch Cat and we are going to say goodbye to our friend the Scratch Cat. Goodbye, Scratch Cat. So long. Nice knowing you. Now we're going to go ahead and let's start off by adding the thing that we want to appear on the screen, like the monster. Okay, now I'm going to be lazy. I'm not going to draw anything. I'm just going to say choose sprite. I'll see what Scratch offers me and I'll just use something. You can use whatever you want in your game. You know what, that bat? I mean, well, I don't know. We live in Austin. We like bats here. Maybe I won't choose the bat. maybe we'll be kind to our bat friends. Um, how about, I don't know. Maybe I will have to use the bat. No, definitely not a puppy. That would be terrible. There's no good monster candidates here. How about the robot? Yeah, let's go with, how about this guy? I might go with the robot. Okay, there we go. We have a robot. I don't know what's coming out of his tailpipe, but that's gross. Okay, so I'm going to take the robot. First things first, if I'm going to make a game where we're shooting at the robot, I want him to be not too big, but not too small. He's too big right now. So if you chose the robot like me, or if you chose something else, and maybe it's too, I mean, I can make it bigger. I can take this. Remember, when I'm on the sprite, I can click on it and say like, hey, I want it to be 200. Oh, like he's bigger. He's twice as big now, right? So 100 is the standard size. Maybe let's try like 25. That might be too small. Let me try 40. And then the nice thing is once we get the game rolling, if we're like, oh, it's too big or too small, we can adjust it. Okay, I'm going to leave the robot at about 40 there. Now, I think for the first video here, what our goal is going to be is, can we just get the robot to move around the screen? And when we'll say move around, I mean, like, I want him not to, like, fly around. I want him to just, like, randomly appear. So like he'll be hidden and then like poof, he pops up right there. And then you try and shoot him. And maybe after a certain amount of time, if you don't hit him or if you do hit him, he pops up somewhere else, right? And you're just constantly chasing him around the screen. So let's make that happen first. I'm going to go to control. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to go to events. And I'm going to say, hey, when the green flag is clicked, I want some things to happen. Remember, Scratch works in order from top to bottom. So the very first thing I want Scratch to do is when the green flag gets clicked and we start the game, I want this guy to hide. So if I click on the green flag, poof, he disappeared. Now, I need him to show up because I just lost him. So I'm going to change that real quick. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to say, first things first, when you click the green flag, I want him to hide. And then I want Scratch, when he hides, before we make him magically appear on the screen, I'm going to make Scratch wait. Now, in the beginning, just to make sure we test this and make it work, I'll say wait for 1 second. As we get closer to finishing the game, we can change this number. But I don't, just because I'm in a hurry, I don't want to wait that long when I'm making the game to like test it. So I'll say wait 1 second, and then we're going to use our friend, the forever loop. And we're going to say, hey, forever, you're going to do the following, Scratch. You are going to, let's start with going, we're going to make him go to, how about this? Go to random position. I like that. We're going to say go to random position. So we're just going to make him, so if I click the green flag, this might be kind of crazy. Okay, I don't even see him. But do you notice how these numbers down here are going absolutely bonkers? You see that? So what's happening right now is our robot is currently flying around the screen so fast that he's still hidden. If I change this block down here, if we add show, okay. If you were to try and hit that guy right now, I don't think you'd have very good luck. It's kind of making me sick watching him. I'm going to press the stop button. We have a problem. Our guy is moving around the screen. It's doing what we want. Here, watch. I'll click the green flag. Hidden for 1 second. And then after that 1 second, it says forever. Go to a random place and show yourself. Maybe we need to add another wait block. So I'm going to go down here to control. I'm going to find a wait block. And I'm going to say, hey, wait. I don't know. How about 2 seconds? And then go to a random place and show yourself. So let's try that now. Okay, he's waiting 1 second. Oh, there you go. He showed up. Okay, now he's moving around the screen, but every 2 seconds. All right, that's a good start. Now, what we're going to want to do next is we're going to make it to where we can, because I think to like shoot something at him, we're going to make this just nice and simple. We're going to make it to where like, hey, if I click the mouse on him, that counts as like hitting him, right? It was pew. How about that? Pew. So that's our goal. So in the next video, let's set it up now that we have this going to where we can actually shoot things by clicking the mouse, and we can make sure Scratch registers that, oh, we hit him, we got him. All right, so that's coming up next.